Morning, campers. So I just got back. Ooh, too bright. But lovely outside, isn't it? Yes. Yes, very lovely. Back in here. I just got back from day 3 at Jim Palmer. So my second day of actual driving. Um, Day 1 was classroom studying for onboarding stuff, signing contracts, studying for CDL test. Day 2 was CDL test, and then a little bit of tooling around the yard, and a lot of bit of sitting on a dummy simulator that doesn't work, practicing gear shifting, and I went around the parking lot a couple of times. Didn't record any of it. Sorry, driving. And I record on my phone, which means it doesn't work in the car unless I get the mount thing, which I do not have. I do have. It's down there, but I don't think the trainer's going to want me to put it up in the truck. I don't know if it's entirely legal, so we won't be using that. And then, yeah. So this morning, first things first, drove around the parking lot a little, and then out of the parking lot, drove around this area, through a couple of the smaller towns in between there, past the school. That was nerve-wracking. I've driven past it like 5 times now since the end of the day. Drove out to Frenchtown, got on the interstate, and came back. Terrifying, but did it. I did it. Back into the yard, stopped for dinner. It was mostly pizza. Lunch. Sorry, lunch. It was definitely pizza, entirely pizza, even. One of the trainers had soup, but he's not a pizza person. So, you'll understand why I'm a little bit hyped when we get to the end. Had lunch with my recruiter, my future fleet manager, and the 2 trainers, and another, not a student, but someone who's a teacher, and he's doing like onboarding. He's a driver that he's already had a CDL and he's joining the company, so he's on like his second day of stuff here. You saw his name on the picture I posted the other day. So yeah, he was there, and his trainer were there as well. So that was pretty awesome. We all had lunch together and then chilled for a good little while. And then we jumped in the truck and we drove 35 miles north to 33 and a half miles north to a town called St. Ignatius, and stopped there, turned around, and came back on. That was all on U.S. Highway 93, up and down hills. Beautiful, beautiful mountains. I should have taken a picture. I'm mad I didn't take a picture. We stopped and everything. I could have taken a picture. There was there was an overlook. It wasn't a scenic overlook. It was some other word they used, and it was really funny. I can't remember what it was. Like oh, I can't remember. It's gonna bother me now. I'll look it up later and like add it to the description or something. It was an overlook, and it was not a scenic overlook. It was like a perceptive overlook or something. I don't know. Started with a P. That's all I know. So drove back, stopped for a little while longer, gave us a chance to use the bathroom and refill water bottles and such. And then back out into the yard, hooked up to a trailer, which there's photographs on my Twitter. Go to Twitter, down there somewhere. Hooked up to a trailer, and that was not all we did. We took the trailer out, and we drove it again through Y up to Frenchtown. I was supposed to get on the interstate and come back just like the first trip, but I missed the turn. Then we wound up on this dirt road, this really little tiny dirt road with a trailer. Had one really tight turn that I actually had to reverse a little bit to get through without hitting a pole. Didn't hit it. I didn't hit the pole, and only one person got really angry. But they were fine. They got around us after we got out of the intersection. It was fine. There was a train going by, so I had to kind of wait for that. Luckily, that was when I was doing the reverse thing. So by the time I had gotten through the intersection, the train was gone. Went across the tracks, and that was a super tight little road. I had to go like into the oncoming lane to get around the corner after going over the tracks. So that was fun, and brought it back to the yard, the Jim Palmer terminal. It's that way. It's that way, if that matters. If you know your Missoula geography and know exactly what room I'm in at this hotel, it's that way. Pulled into the yard, and he said, okay, pulled past the cones, because we picked up the trailer from a parking spot with cones around it. He's like, okay, we're not going to try and park it between the cones, but pull past the cones, and then into a 45-degree angle pointed at a light pole that was conveniently placed. And he's like, okay, this is how to reverse. You do this, da 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 da. And I reversed it, and we got the trailer pretty much lined up with the spots. Between two spots, sadly. I was not good enough to nail it first try. Nail the spot first try. And he's like, okay, pull forward. Bring it to the right a little bit and line it up with a spot. He didn't tell me to line it up with a spot. I kind of did that on my own. I pull forward, straighten it out, and straight back in. And I did it. And it's in a spot. There's a photo. There's photo evidence. I got it into a spot effectively first try, one setup and one pull forward, and in a spot. And yeah, did a lot today. Drove more than 70 miles. Probably more than 70. Probably close to 80 miles at least. No, I guess that was probably maybe close to 90, 95 miles. I drove a lot today. It was awesome, and I like it. I like it a lot. So stay tuned because I'm definitely not going anywhere. This is going to be a thing that I do, and it's going to be awesome. So have a great day.